In the face of Western sanctions, Russia has been trying to persuade its allies to adopt an alternative to the dollar for international payments. At a BRICS summit this week, Moscow is expected to try and convince a growing club of developing economy allies that it is immune from Western attempts to isolate it and call for other countries to join its attempt to overhaul the global financial system. Dasha Chernyshova reports.
Overturning the dominance of the US dollar. That's Russia's central aim this week at a gathering of friends in the Russian city of Kazan. The list of allies is getting longer. What used to be a club of just 5 global heavyweights, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, now includes a total of 10 members, with 34 others waiting in the queue. As momentum builds to expand this so-called counterweight bloc to the West, Russian President Vladimir Putin hopes he has the support to take on the West's dominance of the global economy.
Убежден, что действуя вместе, сплоченно, мы сможем добиться максимальной реализации экономического, инвестиционного, технологического и человеческого потенциалов наших стран. Укрепить конструктивное влияние БРИКС на мировые процессы, сделать мир, в котором мы живем, более безопасным и гораздо более гармоничным.
President Putin's attempt to reduce his country's dependence on the dollar for cross-border payments comes after the imposition of wide-ranging sanctions by Western countries in response to Russia's 2022 special military operation in Ukraine. The penalties, which include the freezing of foreign currency reserves and assets, have made it increasingly hard for Moscow to settle trade payments, even with its close ally, China. And it hopes its proposed alternative will solve those issues. But just like any bloc involving multiple partners, achieving a united voice on most issues remains elusive. It is also not yet clear how many countries explicitly support an alternative to a dollar-based financial system.
I think that first of all, BRICS had to learn how to sit together when twice as large countries now present in BRICS body. And previously of any arrangement, the major points should be settled down. First of all, it's alternative payment system.
Perhaps conscious that building support for an alternative to the dollar might be challenging, Moscow has an interim proposal, a so-called bridging payment system for digital transactions set in individual national currencies that would be immune from Western control. The idea hinges on linking commercial banks through the central banks of BRICS member nations and involves transferring digital tokens backed by national currencies using blockchain technology. This would guarantee the secure exchange of those currencies, circumventing the need for dollar backing altogether. Some newcomers to the club, like Egypt, are already exploring similar bilateral payment partnerships.
I mean, some of the BRICS countries, they started such models of payment bilaterally. So we find China, Russia, India, Russia, and so on. Even China, United Arab Emirates, and so on. In Egypt, we are starting this with China as well. So, I mean, this is the trend now. This is the trend. And this is an important step to be taken by the BRICS.
BRICS member states account for nearly 30% of global GDP and 45% of the world's population. But they also have divergent, and at times competing objectives and visions for the future. The leaders' summit in Kazan, at the very least, seen as an inflection point in the bloc's development. But whether it can become a real force or remains more of a talking shop remains to be seen. Dasha Chernyshova, CNA, Moscow.